Okay, this is we are in EAMCET, AP or TS exam, understanding the pattern. See, I am very much clear here. I am only looking at the pattern of our preparation. Now, I'm in episode 6. See, what I'm trying to look at in this particular place is that quadratic expressions or quadratic equations. Expression and equation has a significant meaning, but as of now, I'm writing it as a quadratic expression. So in the first instance, what I'm going to actually make a note of this, and so that you all are quite versed or well versed with this particular thing, right? See now, very important, this is quadratic expressions. I am trying to understand, I'm trying to put before you what are the 10 tricky mistakes, 10 repeated questions, and 10 must know the formulae. But as of now, I'm going to only address a few with you, okay? So what is that? Number one, 10 tricky mistakes. Let us start with, 10 tricky mistakes. See, they look, why I'm saying 10 tricky mistakes, because we know them, but often when we are writing with a pen, we make a mistake, and our own writing or handwriting may bring us a small error. So what is the first one, without wasting the time, what is the first mistake we tend to do? See, generally the quadratic expression is given as ax square plus bx plus c, and if it is equation, this will become is equal to 0. If it is only expression, I say it is ax square plus bx plus c. So forgetting that a is not equal to 0, that is very, very crucial in quadratic expression. If a is equal to 0, if a is equal to 0, what would happen? This will become bx plus c, which is not at all a quadratic expression, but this becomes a linear expression. Okay, this is number one. So let us go to the second tricky mistake we tend to actually commit in our, when we try to make it. We trying to make the sign mistake, okay, in the discriminant. Okay, generally the discriminant for a quadratic equation, we write discriminant to be as b square minus 4 into a into c, where b ax square plus bx plus c, a is the quotient of x square, b is the quotient of x, and c is a constant. So this is very, very crucial to understand. But what often we try to do, or often we make a mistake, is that we, instead of writing b square minus 4ac, we write b square plus 4ac, or simply we write b plus 4ac, which will end up in wrong results. Okay. So this is the what you call second mistake. Let us go to the third tricky or third mistake we generally commit in our what you call these quadratic expressions or quadratic equations. See why I'm naming this quadratic expression, quadratic equation, because in EAMCET syllabus it is written as quadratic expressions. It's very, very, very important. So now the quadratic expressions, what we are trying to see. So the very simple, the confusing nature of the roots. See, this is again very important, confusing nature of the roots. D discriminant, if it is greater than 0, what will happen? If D is equal to 0, what will happen? If D is less than 0, what would happen? See, this is very crucial in your solving these quadratic expressions or finding the minima and maxima. So D greater than 0, this will become, say, the roots are real and distinct. Okay, this is very, very important. And when the D is equal to 0, discriminant is 0, roots are equal. Both roots are equal. When we say D is less than 0, roots are becomes imaginary. We can say they are complex in nature. Why I'm putting complex, because we don't have to call it as complex, but we can say it should be as imaginary roots. Also, I can call this to be like this. Okay, right. So I have given you three important tricky questions. Now, fourth one, I would like to actually give a five tricky mistakes in this, and then I'll make one more video with more five tricky mistakes, because in one video if you make a 10 mistakes, it will become more lengthy video, which would not be suggestible even for you also. See, when you're trying to find formula for the maxima or minima, okay, maxima or minima, generally in the quadratic expressions, I say I give f of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. So what would is that, my suggestion is that if in such cases f dash x is equal to, I try to derive this 2ax plus b. Then comes f dash x equal to 0. You need to equate it to 0. So this becomes 2ax plus b is equal to 0. From this, you get x is equal to minus b by 2a. So this is very, very important. In EAMCET, this is a direct formula. You can remember, this is known as the vertex also. See, x is equal to minus b by 2a. This also is called as a vertex here. See, sometimes, saddle points like that, we can also say, but this is a vertex. Okay. Now let's come to the fifth tricky mistake one tend to make, or we need to actually see, or rather, reduce it, or we should not make it. Okay, sign mistakes in the sign, mistakes in sign. What is it sign? See, ax square plus bx plus c, whether this sign is this expression less than 0 or is this greater than 0? That means, is this positive or negative? This depends upon the sign of the coefficient of x square. If the sign depends upon the sign of the coefficient of x square and nature of roots, this is what you should remember. See, generally to last question, mistakes in sign. What is the sign of the quadratic equation? What is the sign of the quadratic equation? So then you should actually say that, depending upon the sign of A, that is quotient of x square, in nature of roots, you should be in a position to identify such mistakes. And of course, I would like to make one more. If I said five, but I will give you six in this. Okay. Then factorization, generally we tend to do wrong factorization. See, in quadratic expression, quadratic equation, factorization is the very, very, very crucial rule everywhere, not only in quadratic expression. This factorization is used everywhere in the mathematics. So suppose say you have x square plus 5x plus 6. We don't actually, we should actually split this 5x into half, so that x square plus 2x plus 3x plus 6. This is the way we should write. But often what we do, we just write without knowledge. We tend to write x plus 2 into x plus 2. It ends up in mistakes. So this factorization, if you're not comfortable with the factorization, try to get grip of this factorization. In the middle term, what is the middle term? 5x, and what is the sign plus? So you should actually see the two terms which are factors for the 5x, and if you multiply them, what will happen? So this, factorization, if you go wrong, everything, the whole problem will go wrong. Okay. Okay. We'll again come back with another, I will make another video wherein I'll give you more six such 10 mistakes which we tend to repeat or tend to make in quadratic expressions or quadratic, that particular chapter. Okay. Bye.